When you look at Steph Curry and LeBron James, obviously they're both great players, and both are in my top 15 greatest of all time. But for me, Steph Curry has had a bigger impact on the game of basketball. He completely changed how the game is played in terms of spacing and how to operate behind the three-point line.
Before the world crowned Stephen Curry as the greatest shooter in history, before his 4 rings, 2 MVPs, and a finals run that rewrote basketball, Michael Jordan had already sent a message, a warning. It wasn't a press conference, it wasn't a tweet or a headline, it was a smile on national television that turned the NBA upside down. When Jordan was asked about Curry back in 2019, he paused for a second, looked right at the camera, and said, "He's still a great player, but not a Hall of Famer yet."
So Steph Curry shouldn't be offended when he watches.
I hope not. He's still a great player. Not a Hall of Famer yet, though.
And that one sentence blew up every corner of the basketball world. Some called it shade, others called it truth. But what if it was something else? Because Michael Jordan doesn't speak by accident. Every word, every look, every pause has a purpose. And behind that half smile was a warning for an entire generation of players. A message that said, don't crown yourself too early. Jordan wasn't mocking Steph Curry. He was protecting a standard, the standard he built, the one every player since has been measured against. And the truth is, Jordan saw Steph coming long before the rest of us did. The efficiency, the flash, the revolution that would change the entire geometry of basketball. He just wanted to remind everyone, even the kid with the sweetest shot in NBA history, that legends aren't made by highlights. They're made by time, by pain, by proof. Because to Michael Jordan, greatness isn't about what you can do today. It's about whether you can keep doing it when the entire world tries to tear you down. And for Steph Curry, that warning was about to come true. When that clip dropped, the internet went into shock. Fans couldn't believe what they had just heard. Michael Jordan, the ultimate benchmark of basketball greatness, had just called Stephen Curry not a Hall of Famer yet. The words replayed across every sports show, every highlight reel, every social feed. People thought Jordan was throwing shade, trying to keep his throne. But that's not what was really happening. Jordan wasn't mocking Steph. He was testing him, because Michael Jordan doesn't talk for headlines. He talks with intent. Every phrase, every pause, every smirk carries meaning. When he said those 6 words, he was doing what he's always done, setting a bar, protecting a standard he bled for. To understand it, you have to remember where the game was in 2019. The Warriors were the face of modern basketball. 3-pointers rained like thunderstorms. Kids were copying Curry's range before they could even reach the rim. His team had shattered every offensive metric, winning titles with joy, flair, and rhythm. They made basketball look easy. But for Jordan, that was the danger. He came from an era where basketball was survival. Every drive to the basket meant getting hit. Every shot was earned in blood and bruises. Steph's style, as beautiful as it was, represented a new kind of dominance. Effortless, mathematical, almost casual. To Jordan, greatness was forged through resistance, not through convenience. And that's why that Hall of Famer yet line stung. He wasn't saying Curry wasn't great. He was saying, let's see if he stays great when the world turns on him. And the world did. That same year, the dynasty cracked. Durant was gone. Clay tore his ACL. Draymond looked tired, and Curry, the man who'd made the game look easy, suddenly found it hard again. The Warriors went from finals favorites to a lottery team. For the first time in a decade, the league felt like it had moved on. But Jordan saw something in that collapse. He'd been there himself. He knew what it felt like to have everything, lose it all, and have to climb back up while people whispered that you were finished. That's what separates champions from icons. Anyone can win when everything goes right. Legends win when everything falls apart. So when Jordan made that comment, it wasn't ridicule, it was prophecy. A warning to Steph, yes, but also a reminder to everyone watching. Greatness doesn't survive because of talent, it survives because of fire. Curry heard it and he smiled. He didn't snap back, didn't post a response, didn't run to the cameras. He simply said, I think I'm good, but I'll take MJ's word for it. That's how a man who knows himself reacts. Quiet confidence, no validation needed. Still, deep down, no competitor forgets when Michael Jordan questions them. That kind of challenge lives rent-free in your head, and over the next few years, Curry would live through the exact trial Jordan had predicted. Injuries, doubt, a roster rebuild, the whispers that the dynasty was dead. The belief that his time had passed. But if Jordan's words were a test, Steph was about to answer it. Because when the dust settled and the world stopped believing, Stephen Curry did what every true legend eventually has asked to do, he went back to the gym, rewrote his story, and proved that even the greatest player of all time couldn't have seen how far his shot would reach. By the time the next few seasons rolled around, Stephen Curry had gone from golden boy to ghost. The man who changed the way basketball was played, who once had entire defenses backing up past half court, was suddenly easy to overlook. The injuries piled up, the Warriors' record collapsed, and the dynasty everyone feared seemed like a relic. To some, it looked like Jordan had been right. Maybe Curry wasn't built to last. Maybe all that flash came with an expiration date. But that's the thing about legends. You can't tell their story while they're still writing it. Curry wasn't done. He was just watching the world forget. And while everyone else doubted, he was rebuilding, quietly, patiently. Every clip that came out of the Warriors' empty practice facility showed the same thing. Curry, dripping sweat, shooting until his arms shook. A man known for joy was now fueled by anger. The kind of anger only the greats understand. The kind that starts when someone questions your place in history. Jordan had lived through that exact moment. He knew what it was like to have people talk like your best days were behind you. That's why his comment about Steph wasn't an insult. It was a test of what came next. Could Curry rise when the game stripped away his comfort? Could he build something again from the ruins? And he did. When Klay Thompson came back, when the team finally healed, it wasn't the same Warriors. It was a group scarred by failure, humbled, but in that humility came hunger. Curry led the league in scoring again. He reinvented his game, moving without the ball even more, playing smarter, not faster. He stopped trying to prove he could make impossible shots and started proving he could win no matter what. Then came 2022, the year that silenced every doubt, the year that made Jordan's warning feel like prophecy fulfilled. Curry tore through the playoffs like a man chasing ghosts. Against Memphis, he looked furious. Against Dallas, he looked fearless. And in the finals against Boston, when the world was waiting to see if he still had it, he dropped one of the greatest performances of his life. 43 points in Game 4, dragging his team to victory. No Durant, no prime roster, just him, the ball, and the fire that Jordan once talked about. When the final buzzer sounded and Steph stood on that stage holding his first Finals MVP trophy, there was no gloating, no theatrics, just tears, relief, validation. Because this time, no one could say he hadn't earned it the hard way. And somewhere, watching quietly, was Michael Jordan, the man who once smiled and said, "He's not a Hall of Famer yet." That smile wasn't mockery anymore. It was recognition, the kind of nod one legend gives another when the test is finally passed. Because Curry had faced the one challenge Jordan valued most, the fall, and he came back stronger. He proved that greatness doesn't just belong to one era or one style. It belongs to anyone who refuses to stop. The warning was never about shooting threes. It was about staying the course when the game stops loving you. Jordan's message wasn't that Curry wasn't great. It was that greatness takes time to prove. And in that moment, under those golden lights, surrounded by confetti, Stephen Curry finally became what Jordan said he wasn't yet. A Hall of Famer, a made man, a name carved into basketball forever. But what came next would make it clear that this wasn't just about a quote. It was about something deeper Jordan saw coming long before the rest of us did. Michael Jordan has always had a sixth sense for where the game is heading. He could read players the same way he read defenses, studying their habits, their tells, their mindset. And when he looked at Stephen Curry, he didn't just see a great shooter, he saw a revolution coming. That was the deeper meaning behind his so-called warning. Jordan knew that Curry wasn't just changing basketball, he was rewriting it. Every time Steph pulled up from 30 feet, it chipped away at everything Jordan's era stood for: physicality, mid-range mastery, the art of grinding out a win. To a man like MJ, who built his legacy through sheer will and punishment in the paint, this new wave felt almost alien. It wasn't built on bruises. It was built on precision, spacing, and geometry. And yet, Jordan respected it, because for all his old-school pride, Jordan always admired genius, anyone who could dominate a sport in a way no one else could. And that's exactly what Curry became. Jordan warned the world not to anoint him too early, but deep down, he recognized something familiar: that relentless obsession, that quiet confidence, that refusal to let the game tell him what was possible. Over the next few years, as the Warriors kept redefining how basketball was played, Jordan's words started to age differently. They weren't a critique, they were context. He'd seen how fragile greatness could be, how quickly hype could disappear when a player hadn't faced the fire yet. But once Curry went through it, the injuries, the failures, the rebuild, he emerged as something even Jordan couldn't deny: a generational force. In a way, that was the moment Jordan's warning turned into approval. It's the same arc that every legend follows. Magic had to beat Bird. Kobe had to outgrow Shaq. LeBron had to silence the doubters in Cleveland. And Steph had to prove that his smile wasn't just for show, that underneath it was steel. By the time he lifted that fourth championship trophy, the debate wasn't whether he could shoot, it was whether he belonged in the top 10 players of all time. Analysts who once doubted him now whispered that he'd broken basketball in a way even Jordan never did. And Jordan, the guardian of greatness, finally had to acknowledge what he saw, someone who changed the sport as profoundly as he once had. That's the beauty of it. The warning wasn't really for Curry, it was for us. For the fans, the analysts, the media who rush to crown new kings before they've been tested. Jordan's message was simple. Let greatness prove itself. Let the story breathe. And when you look back now, it feels almost poetic. Jordan, the man who defined an era, sending a message to the man defining the next one. Different styles, different philosophies, same fire. Both obsessed with control, both addicted to winning, both rewriting what it means to be unstoppable. So when that old clip plays again, Jordan smirking, saying, "Not a Hall of Famer yet," it doesn't sound like doubt anymore. It sounds like a challenge that's already been met. Stephen Curry didn't just pass the test, he built a new one. And if Jordan taught us anything, it's that real legends never fear the next great player. They inspire him, because somewhere deep down, Michael Jordan's warning wasn't about protecting his throne. It was about making sure the next one earned theirs. If you want to know more about Michael Jordan and his comments on different players, watch out my next video, Top Players Michael Jordan Loved the Most.